The war-weary human took an alien slave as tribute, unaware she was the exiled heir to an interstellar throne. Captain Darius Kane had fought long enough to forget what peace felt like. The Terran Confederacy had dragged him from one warfront to the next for 20 years, and the lines between victory and survival had blurred into the same dull haze. His fleet had just shattered the Dravari raiders at the Rim colonies, a bloody campaign that ended with fire, smoke, and the hollow cheers of survivors. As was tradition after such victories, the enemy had surrendered what spoils remained: broken ships, vaults of alien coin, and, to Darius's disgust, living captives. The Confederacy encouraged its officers to take tribute, a reminder of dominance, a token prize for endless sacrifice. Darius despised it. He was no slaver. Yet when the officers under his command gathered their trophies, he knew appearances demanded he do the same. That was when he saw her. She knelt among the captives, wrists bound in shimmering energy cuffs. Tall, regal even in chains, with skin like burnished copper and hair that glimmered faintly silver under the hold's lights. Her eyes, sharp and luminous emerald, locked on his with unflinching defiance. She looked nothing like the beaten slaves beside her. The Dravari commander bowed mockingly. "A gift, Captain Kane. She was once a noble's daughter. Now she is yours." Darius almost spat back that he wanted no part of this barbarity. But something in the woman's gaze froze him. Not fear, not submission. A challenge. He heard his own voice say, "I'll take her." The journey home. The Iron Talon carried its crew back toward Terran space, hull-scorched and weary like its captain. Darius sat in his quarters, nursing a glass of bitter whiskey. The woman sat across from him, unbowed despite her cuffs. "You have a name?" he asked at last. "Liara," she replied, her voice rich and steady. "Liara," he repeated. "You don't act like a slave." Her lips curved faintly, though it wasn't quite a smile. "That's because I am not one." He frowned. "The Dravari called you a noble's daughter. Is that true?" "They lied," she said smoothly. "They always lie." But something about the way she said it made Darius's instincts twitch. He'd survived this long by listening to his gut, and his gut told him Liara was hiding something. A strange presence. Over the days that followed, Darius noticed oddities. Liara moved with the grace of someone trained in courtly etiquette, not servitude. She carried herself with dignity, even in silence. Crew who sneered at other captives found themselves hesitant to mock her. Once, when a young ensign grew bold and tried to taunt her, he stumbled mid-word, choking on his breath, as though some unseen force had pressed against his throat. Liara hadn't moved, at least not visibly. Darius confronted her later. "You did something to him." She tilted her head. "If I had, would you punish me?" "Depends what you did," he said. Her emerald eyes glittered. Sometimes restraint is more merciful than retaliation. That only deepened his unease. The revelation. It wasn't until their ship stopped at a neutral outpost that her secret unraveled. Darius had left Liara in his quarters while he attended to reports. When he returned, he found her standing at the viewport, cuffs lying on the floor, melted open like wax. She turned, her bearing impossibly regal. "Enough deception. I tire of this charade." Darius's hand drifted toward his holster. "What are you?" Liara straightened to her full height. "I am Liara Vera Solandar, last surviving heir to the Celestari throne. My people ruled an empire of 1,000 worlds before treachery cast us down. The Dravari were my jailers, not my masters." Darius froze. The Celestari. He knew the name. Every human cadet did. An empire said to have fallen centuries ago, swallowed by rebellion and infighting. Most historians called it myth. And yet here stood its princess, alive, chained only by circumstance. "If that's true," he said slowly, "why reveal it now?" "Because you are not like the others," she said simply. "I watched you in the halls of the Dravari. You did not revel in conquest. You took no joy in chains. You fought because you must, not because you desired. That is why I chose you." "Chose me?" His voice was harsh. Her eyes softened. "The Celestari throne still exists, hidden, waiting. With the right ally, I can reclaim it. And with me, you can end this endless cycle of petty wars. Humanity does not need scraps from the Dravari. You need a vision worthy of the stars." Temptation and doubt. Darius should have turned her in. A princess of a fallen empire would be priceless to the Confederacy. Leverage, propaganda, perhaps a tool of war. But he didn't. Instead, he found himself listening as she spoke of starfaring palaces, fleets of silver ships, councils that once governed thousands of worlds with harmony. She described not only wealth but knowledge, archives of technology lost to humanity's crude wars. She made him remember why he had joined the fleet in the first place, not for conquest, but for exploration, for hope. And yet he could not shake the thought that she might be manipulating him. The Council's demand. When the Iron Talon reached Terra, the Council demanded a report. They summoned Darius into the Grand Chamber, their eyes sharp with suspicion. "You took a slave as tribute," Chancellor Rin said, his tone both accusing and curious. "Where is she?" Darius hesitated. "She is under my custody. Bring her forward." Reluctantly, Darius complied. Liara entered the chamber, no longer hiding her bearing. The counselors stiffened at her poise, at the strange energy in her eyes. "This is no slave," one whispered. Liara inclined her head. "Correct. I am Liara Vera Solinar, Princess of the Celestari." The chamber erupted in murmurs. Some scoffed, others looked pale. "You expect us to believe such a fairy tale?" Chancellor Rin sneered. Liara's emerald gaze burned. "You will believe when you see what comes. The Dravari were not your true enemy. They were pawns used to weaken you." The Veil-born stir again. The council erupted in laughter. Myths upon myths. But Darius saw fear flicker in some of their eyes. They knew. Flight and fire. That night, the council moved to seize her. They would use her as a bargaining chip, or dissect her for whatever secrets she carried. Darius received word from a loyal officer. An ambush awaited in the holding cells. He made his choice. Blaster fire tore through the halls as Darius cut down the guards. He reached Liara's chamber, smashing open the door. "You came," she said softly, surprise flickering across her face. "Couldn't let them cage you." Together they fought their way to the docks, escaping in a stolen corvette. The council branded Darius a traitor that night, his name cursed across the Terran networks. But as the stars stretched before them, he felt lighter than he had in decades. The journey to the throne world. Guided by Liara, they traveled to hidden worlds at the edge of mapped space. There she revealed fragments of Celestari technology, ruins that still pulsed with strange energy, libraries of knowledge encoded in crystalline vaults. On one forgotten moon, Liara placed her hand upon a dormant console. The air shimmered, and a star map loomed above them. Thousands of systems marked with the Celestari sigil. "This was my inheritance," she whispered. "And now it will be yours as well, if you stay